The FBI deliberately ignored golden emails, crucial Aberdeen messages, and more, by Sidney Powell for the dailycaller.com, who is a federal prosecutor. Actually, here it says that Sidney Powell, former federal prosecutor and veteran of 500 federal appeals, is the author of License to Kill: Exposing Corruption in the Department of Justice. She is a senior fellow of the London Center for Policy Research and senior policy advisor for America First. I thought it was a guy, Sidney, and it winds up being a girl. But let's take a listen here. The Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Hillary Clinton have a huge Weiner problem that is even bigger than we first realized. According to the recently released Inspector General report on September 28th and 29th, 2016, the New York office of the FBI immediately reported to the Washington headquarters its discovery of first 141,000 and then 350,000 emails on the laptop of Anthony Weiner, also known as Carlos Danger, a now convicted sex offender. Mr. Weiner is the husband of Hillary Clinton's inseparable aide, Uma Abedin. Now we know by October 4th, the New York office had found 700,000 emails. The New York agents had seen and reported to FBI leadership. They had seen email headers, all domain names, Mrs. Clinton's initials, on one sensitive but not classified document, and the missing BlackBerry backups. The New York agents described it as an entire file of all Hillary Clinton emails from 2006 until 2016, including the BlackBerry messages that Comey himself had referred to as the golden emails. The mid-year term of FBI agents investigating the email issues had been told by Clinton's staff and lawyers that there was a complete archive on both a thumb drive and a laptop, but remarkably, no one seemed to have them. At least some on the mid-year team were frustrated and believed Clinton's attorneys were lying. Others, including Comey, claimed they were looking for those under very stone, quote, but no one could under every stone, but no one could find them. Remember, Hillary Clinton's attorney produced approximately 30,000 of her emails, and they appear to have claimed that was the entirety of her work-related emails. Mrs. Clinton's staff and technical support and deliberately deleted approximately 33,000 emails that were just about, quote, yoga and wedding plans. They produced nothing from the beginning of her tenure as Secretary of State. Then her server was wiped with BleachBit. Yet, lo and behold, here so many emails were. Hundreds of thousands of emails, the entire file, everything Clinton, including data from the BlackBerries and other devices from which the FBI and DOJ decided not to run search warrants because they assumed they had been destroyed. So what did the FBI do with this explosive bomb, including the golden emails on the BlackBerry that everyone knew was missing from the production? Nothing. At least nothing to obtain evidence. There was a flurry of activity at headquarters. Strzok page texts show that Strzok, McCabe, and Prystapp discussed the Weiner laptop among themselves shortly after the, quote, bomb dropped in the video conference that day. In fact, Prystapp and Strzok were waiting outside McCabe's office to discuss it while McCabe was with Comey. There were also 2 calls between Comey and McCabe that evening. Does anybody really think they were not having their own oh crap moment? The FBI case agent in New York sure had one. Remarkably, McCabe, Comey, Price, Stapp, Strzok, and then Mary McCord at the DOJ have little recollection of much of this at all. It just kind of fell off the radar. They were busy, quote. It was probably duplicates, and their focus was on the Russia investigation, to which they gave priority. After all, they did not expect any information on the laptop to change the outcome of the case. Of course they did not, but the only reason for that is that the outcome, that she would not be prosecuted, was foregone conclusion from the beginning. Obama and Hillary had both declared it. Comey, McCabe, Strzok, and others gave various reasons for sitting on the entire file of Clinton emails for a month. The Inspector General examines and resoundingly rejected each of them. For one, they all asserted that they expected and hoped that the emails were simply duplicates of ones they already reviewed. This is clearly impossible. First, just do the math. There were 675,000 of them, at least 350,000 of which they knew from the video call of September 28th. Clinton produced approximately 30,000 emails, claiming that included all her work-related emails. Supposedly her staff culled 33,000 emails that were purely personal. Combine that is more than 600,000 emails short of this colossal find, which is 10 times the total number of emails Clinton and company claimed existed. Second, the agents in Comey all knew they had no BlackBerry messages from Mrs. Clinton's production, but from Weiner's laptop they knew from the headers and dates they had all of those. The first 2 months of her tenure as Secretary of State. This was the motherlode of Clinton culpability, the answers to everything they did not want anyone to know. And there's more. As early as October 3rd, the Weiner case agent was agitated over the sound of crickets from headquarters and the inaccurate statements of Director Comey regarding the number of emails they possessed. He felt compelled to push the issue in New York all the way up to U.S. Attorney Preet Bharara. The case agent himself recognized that the FBI had 10 times the number of Clinton emails that the director had reported on the record, and they had the significant BlackBerry messages as well. He could not believe someone in New York had not called him to get the hard drive. Extremely concerned, the case agent went to the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York. An assistant United States attorney told the Inspector General the agent believed somebody was not acting appropriately. Somebody was trying to bury this. The attorneys were concerned the agent might act out. Act out means blow the whistle. United States Attorney Bharara was so sufficiently aware of the deafening silence from Washington that he instructed his chief counsel to document everything his office had done. With 100% accuracy, things seemed unusual to him, and he wanted a record of their actions, including their recovery of more than 700,000 emails. Bharara instructed his deputy to call the Justice Department directly in case something had fallen through the cracks. That call made it impossible for the FBI and DOJ to continue to keep this trove buried. The same day, October 21st, Agent Strzok wrote Lisa Page. Taskus at DOJ was now aware New York had HRC UMA emails via Weiner investigation. Finally, 5 days later, on October 26, the New York case agent was able to talk directly to the mid-year agents. Mid-year is the name the FBI gave the investigation. The case agent reported again, based on the number of emails, we could have every email that Uma and Hillary ever sent each other. On October 30th, the Department of Justice finally got in gear to get a warrant to include everything dealing during Mrs. Clinton's tenure with the State Department and all devices, and especially the Comey-denominated golden emails from the Blackberries and all the messages sent to Abedin to be given to Mrs. Clinton, right? Nope. Shocker number one, despite everyone's recognition of the importance of the explosive bomb and the golden emails on the Weiner laptop, the FBI never even sought to review the golden emails. Shocker number two, they deliberately ignored the emails between Uma Abedin and others despite knowing she was a proxy for the secretary and had lied to them in her interview. Federal investigators knew people would email Abedin, and she would print things out for Clinton. Abedin admitted it was easier for her to print things from home in Brooklyn. Logically, then it appears it was Abedin who deliberately stripped classified markings from emails to forward the information to Mrs. Clinton so she could then deny ever receiving anything marked classified. It's called plausible deniability, and it was deliberate and an illegal scheme for handling classified information. Shocker number three, over analysts' objections, the FBI never reviewed the Weiner laptop to determine if it had been compromised by foreign agents despite finding that Uma Abedin had forwarded classified information to it. Those were flagrant violations of 18 U.S.C. 793. There are important conclusions from these facts in the Inspector General's reports. The Weiner laptop almost certainly contains the answers to the public's questions about all things Clinton, her scandals, the Clinton Foundation, pay-to-play, obstruction of justice, and also possible Espionage Act violations. The FBI claims to have reviewed all the relevant Clinton emails is obviously false. The Inspector General report belies the FBI's claim to have left no stone unturned. The Weiner laptop and content of all iCloud accounts must be immediately obtained and presented by, preserved by an independent counsel in whom the public can have confidence. Justice requires both a full investigation of Mrs. Clinton's multiple potential crimes and of the efforts of agents of the FBI and the Department of Justice to cover it all up. Multiple high-ranking officials, including Barack Obama, were emailing Mrs. Clinton directly or through Uma Abedin. The Weiner laptop and iCloud account had it all. It was the full archive they were supposedly searching for. Who else among the high-powered elite are the FBI and DOJ protecting by their cover-up? I would say Barack Obama comes to mind. We know they were covering for Hillary Clinton, but Barack Obama comes to mind, right? You know, the thing is that everybody knows about all of this, yet what's being done about it? What's being done about it? Our hands are tied. We can't go get the laptop with everything in it. I mean, something has to be done about it. And the people need to be held accountable. And the FBI, Strzok, Comey, and the rest of them, even Loretta Lynch was involved in all of this. I mean, they all know. In other words, everything would be, if the emails were released, everything would be like right out in the open, and there'd be no denying anything. You couldn't weasel your way out of that. So that's why they were flipping out with the Weiner laptop, because everything was on it. everything. I'd like to see what was on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.